Hello, beautiful, amazing, fantastic world. And you, beautiful, beautiful individual. Today, I would like to speak about every word and sentence has beings, force, feelings, emotions, and, well, radiances out of them. It impulses out of the words, in a sense. So when I am speaking to you, for me to truly have a certain rhythm and structure to these things, my intention has to be clear and pure. To set up that intention and to uphold it through, freedom and consciousness. It is what you would call holding yourself to your own words, right? So when you speak, when you truly communicate with another, you truly wish to get that sense, that feeling, that it's hard to explain it, but to get that out in language. And it is all about not being obsessed with the sounds of the language and the words and, politically correct and whatnot and diddly-dee, but truly feel the reality of the words. So when you have practice, when you practice speaking, when you practice immersing yourself in speech, that means speak to yourself, talking about and also bringing out certain concepts and reflections that allows us to have a certain insight to things. It is all about having that intention. You see, it is a threefold balance in a sense. The balance between thinking, feeling, and will impulses. But they are interchangeable with each other. Because when you think, your emotions are affected. And when you are actively thinking, that means you use your thoughts, like right now, you imagine a pineapple. That is your will in your thoughts, directing your thoughts. You see, you can glimpse it, but the will impulse is inside of your body. So it is kind of behind you, in a sense. You see? So you cannot perceive the will directly, but you can perceive the will based on the action you do. So once you have done the action, you saw the will impulse. The more we get to know ourselves and our own inner soul and spirit, it is in direct correlation with our language and what we speak, how we see the world, and so on and so forth. You see, there can be 10 of us and we can see the world in 10 different ways. They might be very alike, but how we feel about the world, how we are grateful for the world or ungrateful thereafter, is our own freedom. It is up to us to unfold these inner spiritual powers of faith, love, hope. And you feel that faith for the higher beings, love for all of humanity and for the development towards the future, and for our Redeemer, and hope for future developments for all. And of course, standing strong in the lesser virtues. They are only called lesser and higher virtues based on where they are in the spiritual forces. So justice, judgment, fortitude / courage and prudence are more physical, strong, stable foundations for the body that allows you to participate within your own inner being, not allowing your inner being to be taken over by forces that wants to think ill for you. So when you think good, grateful, loving, nurturing thoughts that also is constructive, objective, and has a certain discernment to it, you are thinking with the higher beings. If you are only down here in the physical, or in animalistic instincts, or in longings and passions that has nothing to do with the higher realms or the spiritual, you are living purely in the material and in the causes themselves. No, it's important to also live in the consequences, to feel that every word, every action, every emotion even, is bringing certain, well, results to the world. We are constantly radiating and building the future right now. And your thoughts, emotions, and will impulses helps or not to do that. It is all about purifying our own inner being so that we can be honest, clear, having a certain feeling that we know what words we want to get out. We know how we wish to affect people. We know how we wish to inspire people. But we also wish to give them a certain inner strength, a certain strength to be able to withhold any kind of discomfort, pains, and so on. Because if we only try to be frivolous, we will not be able to handle anything. We want to go beyond ourselves, away from ourselves, you see? On the other hand, if we become too physical down in our body, we become bogged down and drowned by animalistic passions. And you see, you probably can clairvoyantly see it here. In the middle. In the perfect middle here. Not beyond ourselves, away from ourselves, and not down into the body, but it's kind of you are flying here, observing everything, but not in a strained and what is it called, hyper aware, but not either in an don't care either. It is that observing, taking in everything that comes, feeling it, and not judging it, because once you put your judgment into it, it becomes so much more. You just let it work upon you so you can understand it. It won't destroy you. It won't. You see, as long as your ego is stable and strong within anything that happens, it will over time ebb away, because your ego, you cannot sit sustaining the pain for a long period of time consciously. You cannot sit consciously within your own emotional pain and sustain it for longer periods of time unless you feed it, unless you yourself feed into it. It's the same with good thoughts. If you feed your intention and forces into daily practices, into your thinking, feeling, and willing to purify them, ennoble them, and holding the luciferic and the Ahrimanic in balance. Because that is what we are bestowing. That is what we are a compound of, more or less. I'm just going to use this as an example, but the forces of when you are a child, when you are growing, when you are young and youthful, is the luciferic forces, which is constantly wishing to renew and dissolve at the same time. And on the other hand, you have Ahriman, the forces of aging and being old, the old man, the old grumpy man. And in the middle there, where you're both young and old at the same time, because you are constantly aging, but you are constantly alive too. I just love that because it is a concrete example. You are constantly given life force to grow still, even though you are so and so many years old. You still change, you still grow, you still mature, and so on. It's the same with, well, the dying forces, making us sclerotic, making us more brittle, making us, more sunken down and so on, drying ourselves more and more up the older we become. That is the Ahrimanic, the death-dealing, the disease-bringing forces, you see? But it is a balance here between the Christ is in the middle, the fulcrum, and the fulcrum is the human being, the center. But we cannot point to the human being, because the human being, it's like pointing out the fulcrum of a scale. You just can't do that. It is where both the arms meet, in a sense. I took these examples from Rudolf Steiner, of course, because they are so prominent and very well described. It is a constant threefold balance of dissolving and, well, drying up and preserving. When you really think about it, it is kind of the balance of the Trimurti. So it is all about creation, destruction, and upholding. And we are in the upholding, in a sense, you see? But it is about holding in balance the forces of destruction and the forces of healing and creation. That is the duality that is outside, but the threefold nature of the inner human being. Yes, it is a dualism outside in there, but we as human beings must hold this dualism in a threefold balance. And that is what the Christ gave us. With cutting out the threefold in human beings, we become confused and the karma become messed up. You are threefold: thinking, feeling, willing. Father, Holy Spirit, Christ. Subconscious, conscious, superconscious. Past, present, future. Anything you can come up with that has a trinity to it, we are threefold. Never forget that. If we were dualistic, we would have half a year day, half a year night. But we haven't. We have 16 hours sleep, 8 hours sleep, 16 hours day. That's threefold. Amazing, right? It is reflected even in the physical. Man, and it's all about having that longing and having that, I want to know more about this, you know? I truly wish to learn more and grow and also be able to have clearly defined and, well, perceptible realities to this. Not putting everything in a hazy mist, not collecting and to unite everything into just one hazy mass, you see? But knowing it is a whole mass, but differentiate, define, sharply, you see here. The more clear we are, the more clearly we can live out in the world too. I'm just trying to show you the meticulousness of Ahriman. On the other hand, you have the sense for beauty and art and such from Lucifer. But you know it is not, his art is not bound to reality. It is like abstract, like Picasso's work. It can only be put vague feelings to. But Ahriman is the opposite, where he wants sharply defined, concrete, and that's reality. But Lucifer wants to dissolve and to make everything hazy and misty. In the middle here, you have both the whole and the details, the whole balance of the threefold human being. I will leave you with this today. Thank you so, so much. My beautiful, beautiful siblings and initiates and wonderful spiritual scientists. May you be curious, may you be wondrous, may you be protected by Father, Holy Spirit, Christ, Michael, all the archangels, angel masters of all, ancestors from every incarnation, hierarchy. I don't know if I said it twice, but now you are being blessed twice by them. So, and may you stay strong, stable, and sturdy in the faith, love, hope, and the knowing, As you know, the Christ and these forces, we do not choose them, they choose us. And it is kind of, that experience is kind of very, very special, intimate, and personal, as you know. So, thank you so much. Love you so much. You are blessed. You are guided. And you are loved. Stand strong to the moral ideal. Strive towards it. No matter if the nature says there is no morals here. No matter if every animal acts like there is all against all. Don't fall for that. Don't fall for the dead, moralless forms of nature. Go for the hierarchy, the love, the nurture that only human beings can show each other and animals and the world. Remember this. We are different. We are human beings. Love you. Thank you.